A week ago, last Friday, over 1 million Iraqis took to the streets in Baghdad to protest, demanding a U.S. troop withdrawal from the country immediately. They were chanting, get out, occupier, and no, no, America," as they marched down the streets, waving Iraqi flags, as can be seen in the footage above. Of course, the Western media tried to downplay the numbers, saying there was only tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands, but drone footage from above, as well as witness reports, put the number at well over 1 million, some estimates as high as 2.5 million. People filled the streets for a length of 8 kilometers, and it had to have been one of the biggest demonstrations that Iraq has ever seen. The people also protested in other cities across the country. This push to expel U.S. troops started at the turn of the year in a series of airstrikes, U.S. airstrikes against Iraqi military that started with targeting Iraqi military sites at the border of Iraq and Syria, killed nearly 40 Iraqi military personnel whose sole job it was to fight ISIS terrorists in that region, followed by several other airstrikes across the country, killing more Iraqis, and finished off with the assassination of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani and Deputy Commander of the Iraqi Popular Mobilization Units, Abu al-Muhandis, in a drone strike on their vehicle near the Baghdad airport as the Iranian general arrived on a diplomatic mission that was approved by Trump, who then used the opportunity to carry out the Israeli-backed assassination. So the people are rightfully angry and want the U.S. troops to leave. Iraqi parliament at that time voted in a unanimous 170-0 vote to expel U.S. troops from the region. The Iraqi prime minister carried through requesting that the U.S. do so. The U.S.'s response was they would not consider such an option and they're going to leave troops there. So now, because of that refusal, the people are making their voices heard. They want U.S. troops to leave. They're beginning to see us as an occupation force, unwanted, unwelcome, and a threat to security and peace in the region. So how does the U.S. respond to this increased pressure by the Iraqi population for the U.S. troops to leave? Well, they respond as you might expect. Instead of considering a troop withdrawal, instead of simply just leaving our troops behind and refusing to cooperate with their demand, no, we're going even well beyond that. U.S. officials announced they're going to build 3 new military bases in Iraq. And not only that, they're going to be along the Iranian border. One of the new bases is going to be only 8 miles away, making itself an easy target for Iran, which they now know has the capabilities to hit U.S. bases in the country, as happened with the revenge strike for the assassination of the General Qasem Soleimani. So, of course, naturally, not only are they going to build 3 new bases, they're also planning to put in the U.S. Patriot missile defense systems. I wonder why. Probably not because they're planning a war on Iran and are trying to protect themselves from future revenge strikes. No, that wouldn't be it at all. They're now in the process of asking the Iraqi government for permission to put the Patriot missile systems in place. Why they expect that a government which has already demanded that they leave the country entirely would say yes to that, beyond comprehension. Probably because it has nothing to do with getting Iraqi permission and everything to do with painting the picture to the American people and the international community that they're actually trying to respect Iraq's sovereignty, which they clearly are not doing. Why are they doing this? Well, obviously to put pressure on Iran, because that's exactly what Israel wants. As was openly admitted by both Netanyahu and Trump on Tuesday at the presentation of the so-called deal of the century, most everything that the U.S. has done to put pressure on Iran and work towards war on the country has been done for Israel, including the assassination of Qasem Soleimani. So, no doubt that's why we're continuing to put pressure on Iran now against the will of the Iraqi government and their people. Maybe it's about time that we listen. 1 million Iraqis want us to leave. Their government, in a unanimous vote, demanded that we leave. Maybe it's about time that we listen, because if we don't, soldiers might start getting injured, might start getting killed, might start coming home in coffins. After all, that's what they've threatened, some of the demonstrators, exactly what they've threatened. You arrived vertically, but will leave horizontally. If they don't leave voluntarily, that is. To the families of American soldiers, insist on the withdrawal of your sons from our country or prepare their coffins. I would prefer the former to the latter, and say it's about time that we listen to their cries. Hey, President Trump, bring the troops home. Stop putting our soldiers' lives at risk to fight Israel's wars. Enough is enough.